Welcome back to the Grow Like a Mother podcast. This is your place for expressing who you are outside of just the role of mom. And today you've landed on a Woo Woo Wednesday. I have an incredible healer here with me today. Dr. Aditi is not only a specialist dentist, but she's an integrative psychotherapist, a spiritual counselor, a life coach, a hypnotherapist, a Reiki teacher master, crystal master, like yogi, all the things. She really believes that working with all of these different modalities integrates our mind and our body and our soul together. And Aditi's superpower is really helping us tap into our inner strength, connecting us to our soul so that we can show up unapologetically as the unique version of ourselves. And she truly reminds us that it starts with us. It starts in here. So it's time to kick out that self-critic and say goodbye to our self-doubt and fully connect and love all parts of who we are, including our emotions. I love this so much. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure to get to connect with you. You are so accomplished. And I wonder if you can share with us how things progressed in your life in a way that you're able to merge like the scientific and the woo all together in a career that really supports your clients.
So very interesting question, and I get asked that really often. So how it really started was really personal journey. I come from a very scientific background, trained as a dentist. Everything had to be evidence-based. Everything had to be, there had to be proof for everything. And then on a personal healing quest, trying to understand myself, what was really going on, I connected to Reiki. Now, my mom has always been very spiritual, so I said, well, that was my firstborn. I said, oh, okay, that seems a bit safe. Let's connect to it. And then from then on, the doors just kept opening. It went to crystals, it went to hypnotherapy. Yoga was something that was always a part of our life growing up in school doing that. So, connecting back to yoga was again a no-brainer. And the more I did all of this spiritual stuff, the more I, worked with the techniques, the more benefits I received. But I was also having conventional therapy myself at the time. And I realized that when I combined the two together for myself, for my own journey, I really saw magic happen in my own life. And that's where I was like, whoa, like, why aren't more people doing this stuff? Why isn't anybody sitting there and saying, right, I can do both? And so I decided I'm going to do both. And I took on the task of, combining everything together.
I love it. I'm so glad that you decided to do that because it's like a holistic approach, right? You get to include all of the best things from Eastern and Western and put it all together to really support people. And one thing that I want to dive into today with you
Yeah.
specifically is this idea of like our inner maverick. I know this is something that you talk about and you teach on,
Mhm.
and I'm wondering if you could give us an idea of like who or what is this inner maverick?
Okay, so to define Maverick, Maverick is someone who is very unconventional and independent, and they really think and do things outside the box. Now, that thought can be very scary for a lot of people because essentially people just want to hide, they want to blend in, they just want to carry on with their lives. That's not what I'm saying, when I mean connect to your inner Maverick. I'm saying that how can you show up in your life truly as who you are? Because there is this voice inside us that tells us what to do. And sometimes we ignore it in the pressures of, playing the roles that we play as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife, as a friend. We forget us. So I'm saying who you really are, because there is a maverick within you. There is that light within you that needs to just show up as who you really are. Yeah. So that's what I mean by connecting to your inner maverick, really connecting to who you are, honing it, accepting it, loving it, and then showing up.
Yeah, okay. I love this language for it. For me, I would tend towards the words of like soul or intuition. And is
Mhm.
this kind of the same idea?
Yes, kind of like the same idea, because that sometimes you look at something and you go, yeah, that's the right thing, but then your mind starts to take over and you go onto this journey of questioning and doubting, and you do that to yourselves as well. And I'm saying, right, how can you show up saying, okay, yes, I can do this. And then you go ahead from there. Or you understand, oh, I feel a bit upset today. I'm going to love myself. So yeah, that's kind of the same idea.
Yeah. And that's why I would love your take on like why it's actually important to connect here. Like, why do we bother doing this? And I know that, I mean, from what you've already said, it can be really important to give us almost that permission slip to trust ourselves. Is that kind of how you see it?
Yes, absolutely. So I actually want to ask, the listeners or you this another question for this question is, do you really feel stuck in your life? Like you're doing everything you're meant to be doing. You're ticking all the boxes, you're achieving, you're running towards these goals of yours, being the perfect mother, perfect daughter, perfect partner. You're just trying to create this amazing, happy life. But you know, you you're lost, you're feeling a bit unhappy, stuck, but you can't put a finger on it. And I mean, I get that because for me, that's what was missing. Like, something was missing in my life as well. And turns out I was missing. And that's why it's important to connect to your inner maverick because that's who's missing in your life. That's whose support you're missing.
That's so powerful. I get women coming to me all the time, like
Yeah.
feeling that same stuckness, that same
Mhm.
like I've checked all the boxes, but something's missing. And for you to
Yeah.
identify that, like, you are missing, it's you, it's
Yeah.
the maverick
Yeah.
within you. That's so powerful. I want to make sure
Yes.
that all the listeners heard that one because what a big aha, right?
Absolutely. I mean, not showing up as who you really are, not being able to speak, not being able to connect, staying disconnected, it can only lead to so much frustration.
Yeah.
So, coming back to that question, why should you bother connecting to your inner mother? Well, why shouldn't you? You really have nothing to lose, right? Because you're still living that life where you're hustling and achieving and, going for all the goals, giving, giving, giving. You can still continue to do all of that. So this can only bring you something positive.
Yeah. And take us a little deeper on what the journey looked like for you as you were going through all of your learnings and growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what was it like for you to first start connecting with your inner maverick?
So I want to make this very clear just at the beginning that it's a journey. So nobody will wake up one day feeling healed or feeling, oh, from today onwards, I am happy or my life is perfect. That's something going to happen. However, when you connect with that inner maverick, what it'll do is that it'll give you tools so that when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down, you can bounce back up quicker. You can come out of difficult situations quicker. So my journey basically began with literally, like how you unpeel an onion, like literally different layers, layers of myself, really unpeeling my own identity, understanding who am I, what are my values, what do I believe in, why does the situation make me upset, why do I feel sad? And if I feel sad, do I want to change that or do I just want to sit with this sadness? What makes me happy? And am I getting enough happiness during my day? Do I have fun? Have I forgotten to have fun on my journey? Do I do enough of this every day? And really, how can I bring more change in my life, but also how can I accept what I can't change? How can I let go of things? And really just sitting with it all, giving space to all of these questions, all of these emotions, and one by one unpicking them. So, literally, in the center, what's that left is core of me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this takes me, this makes me happy. Do more of this. Ignore, not ignore, accept, and maybe, let go a little bit of that. So, really just trying to give myself that space. Oh, okay. It's just like how we try to understand our children that, oh, strawberries cut a certain way will not be appreciated here.
Totally. Totally. I
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
And I want to just lean into the fact that it's a journey. Lean into the
Yes.
fact that it takes work and the way that I mean, I don't know if you feel the same about your work as I do about mine, but like my role is to support you as you're doing the work and to like show you the next step and to be able to give you the tools as you're ready for them. And I wonder what that looks like when you're working with your clients and you're taking them through these modalities. Like if I was coming to you feeling stuck and looking for some answers to find meaning and to reclaim my own identity, what would that look like working with you?
So what that would look like is first, again, unpeeling those layers. I would start at the beginning. Firstly, why? Why are you here? Why is it so important for you to make this change at this time? Okay, once we understand the why, we can always put a pin in it and be like, when we start to lose motivation, we go back to the why. And then we start to uncover all of the things that I uncovered. Who are you? What really matters to you? How can you have more fun on your journey? And on the days when you're feeling low, how can you bring yourself back up? And it can be, via worksheets, workbooks, or it can be via meditation, having different crystals, working with oils, having different Qigong postures or yoga postures, which you could do when you're feeling, it's just a mixture of everything. And it really varies on which client would like, appreciates which part of the practice. And yeah, I really vary it that way.
I love it. It's so personal for each individual. And I think that that
Yes.
is the ticket. That's the key, right?
Yeah.
Um, I'm just curious. I'm taking us down a bit of a tangent
Yeah.
here, but
No.
when people start to realize and that they're ready to do some of the work, they're ready to reclaim their life. What's
Mm.
the timeline look like? I feel like people are always eager for an instant transformation, and you and I have done the work, and we know that that's not the case. But is there any kind of like typical timeline that you see, or is it again so dependent on the individual?
Again, yeah, I would say, as I said, that it's a journey, and some people the journey looks shorter, and for some it really is a longer one. So of course, when people come to me, they would ask, right, how many sessions would that take me? How
Right.
many sessions would it take to solve all of my problems, all of, everything? And it really depends also how committed are you? Are you just going to sit here for 1 hour, talk about the things, but actually not do the work in the week between? Because that's where the work happens. That's where the magic happens. I can only provide the support, the tools, I can be your personal cheerleader, but it's you. You run the show. And that's what's key.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, it really varies, but yeah, I cannot emphasize it enough that that you are in charge even when you come to work with me, or you go on any self-exploration journey, really.
It's the action. It's
Yeah.
the in-between work, as you said, in between the sessions. What do you do and how do you support the people that you work with when they're having those lows in between, right? Like it's so great to be on a call, to be in the coaching session, to have the tools, to be going through the modalities, and you
Yeah.
feel great. And then you carry that with you for a time, and then real life happens.
Yeah.
And how do we bounce back from that? How do we get through those times in between?
Yeah. So I love this because I ask and actually get everyone to make a well-being toolkit.
Mm.
So it's not something like, a DIY kit that we have in our house, to, put a nail in the wall, or like a first aid kit. It's something we want to tap into regularly on a daily basis. So, when we look at our pulse on a medical monitor, it's going up and down. And that's really our life and our emotions. Every day we're feeling up, we're feeling low, we're feeling high. So I want to say that when you're feeling high, amazing, use the tools. So when you're feeling low, you will bounce back up quicker.
Mm.
So yeah, my well-being toolkit is something I get them to sort of customize, put it their way, get creative and use, really tap into it, because that's what they can get support from when they're not with me in the session.
That makes so much sense. Can you give us some examples of tools that we might put in a well-being toolkit? I love this idea so much.
Absolutely. So it really is, it can be a physical toolkit. So it can literally be a box where you could keep reminders, stuff like affirmation cards, or maybe a card that reminds you of a loved one, a little trinket, a little memory, things, stuff that makes you feel happy that you could physically touch, look at. You could have essential oils in there. So, smell of certain things make you feel a certain way, make you feel energized. You could have crystals. Really, you could have a gratitude journal in there. So, literally something physical. But also, you could tap into stuff like mindful movements, meditation, a specific playlist that you listen to only, like I have a playlist that says self. So I listen to it when I want to feel motivated, when I want to feel loved. And then I have one that's called inspired. When I want to feel inspired, I'm going to do some important work. I listen to that, I feel all pumped up. So it's like going to the gym for your mind and for your soul. And yeah, music, literally get creative, gardening, painting, anything, because it's your toolkit. You can have anything in there. And one thing I really want to specify here, because people can get quite, oh, we should be meditating in the morning, or we should be doing the gratitude journal. But get the shoulds out, throw them away. They should not, stay in your dictionary, because literally the only person who will judge you here while you use this toolkit is you. So you only have to manage your own expectations and your own emotions. So, right, maybe I don't want to journal early morning. I want to journal when my child is having a nap. So that's when I journal. There are no rules to this because it's your toolkit. There's nothing fixed here. You get to decide how you want to use it, but definitely use it, tap into it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, so the more you customize it to you, the more you make it work for you, the more it will work for you.
It's like music to my ears. I like this idea of having like a physical box because I have a similar thing. I have a toolkit that I've developed over the years of things that I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed or I'm in a bad mood or whatever. And they include things like I have a playlist as well. I call it my attitude adjustment playlist, which is really fun.
Nice.
And all of these ideas, but I hadn't ever considered having a physical box that I can open up and grab the essential oils and grab the crystals and open up a journal and just have everything at my disposal in
Yeah,
addition to all of the intangible things that I do, right? So thank you for that. I think that that is going to be something that I do today is pull together a little toolkit for my well-being because I think
yeah,
it's so important that we all have access to these tools in the happy times and in the times where we're struggling.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm so glad you found that useful. But another thing I also like to put is photographs in there. I love to look at old photos because they bring so much joy. So that's
Yeah.
another thing you can pop in there.
That's fantastic, especially because we're in this time now where all of our photos are digital. It's so special to have something printed out. And I liked the
Yeah,
idea that you had said as well about having a card or something from a loved one that makes you happy.
yeah,
That's cool. I love it. It can almost act as like you could put like memory box items in there too, right? There's so many
absolutely.
possibilities. I love this so much. Um,
Oh,
yeah, this is great. And I'm curious to know what is your why? Like, why is it that you do this work with people?
okay. So I really come from a space of understanding. Helping people has really always come naturally to me, whether it was doing dentistry, I always had people coming to me, with questions or, something's going wrong, or do you have information of this specific part? As I was always the problem solver. I was always there for people. And when I was going through my own personal journey, I just felt like doing this really was my ikigai, as I can describe it. It sparks so much joy. It really makes me happy seeing another person thrive, seeing another person understand that all the light that they're looking for outside is all within them. All the happiness that they're looking for outside, it is really hidden within. All they have to do is uncover it. Just, give themselves that space and just, yeah, let them shine. That's what brings me a lot of joy. Another reason I would say is when I became a mother, it really became important to me that my son also sees that, how helping people, not just physically, but overall, it can bring so much change. And really, I think becoming a mother also had some sort of healing effect on me. And that was also, I would say that still is my motivation to keep going.
I think we can all relate to that. We are completely changed when a child is born, a mother is born, you know? So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's so fantastic. And I know a lot of the listeners
Yeah.
are resonating with this and eager to learn more. I would love for you to share. I know that you had mentioned you have a little freebie for the listeners. And so can you tell us about that? And also if they want to dive deeper, where's the best place to connect with you and continue this conversation?
Okay, so the best place to connect with me would be on my website. You got all contact details. I'm also on Instagram and on Facebook. My website's called bloomintohappiness.com, and Instagram's also Bloom Into Happiness. And the freebie that I was talking about is if you go on my website, www.bloomintohappiness.com, under offerings, I've got three special offers, all for free, all for people to continue their journey from this conversation onwards. So you could download something called as a Connect to Your Inner Fire workbook, which will give you practical tools and tips to carry on their journey. And when they feel ready, they can come to me and then again carry on another journey, which will take them, unpeel that layer, another layer deeper. The second offering would be for their well-being toolkit, a set of affirmations. So again, to remind them how special they really are and they matter, their light matters, who they are really matters. And the third offering is a little meditation, which they could tap into as well. Again, all of them are absolutely free and on the offerings page on my website.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. You are putting so much good into the world. I love this idea of bloom into happiness. I want everyone listening to head over on Instagram and send Aditi a DM. Let her know that you heard about her on the podcast and just connect and keep that curiosity lit in yourself on how you can connect further. Um, this is all so important. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and thank you for being here on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love that I got to connect with you and share my message. And thank you so much. Thank you for everything.
Yeah. And thank you guys for listening. If you are still here and you love this episode, I invite you to share it, post about it on social media, take a little snapshot, and help us spread this message about how important it is to really connect to your inner maverick. And until next week, keep on growing.